Okay, let's be real. Have you ever been writing a Spanish sentence, holding a little pronoun like le or me, and just had no idea where it's supposed to go? Before the verb? After it? Tacked onto the end? It's a super common hurdle, but I promise you, it is way simpler than it looks. In just the next few minutes, we're going to crack the code with one simple rule that solves the puzzle almost every single time.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with a super quick refresher on what these pronouns even are. Then we get to the main event, the one golden rule you absolutely need to know. After that, we'll look at the cool situations where you actually have a choice, talk about how to make sure people know exactly who you're talking about, and we'll finish up by fixing some of those classic mistakes. Sound good? Let's jump in.
All right, first things first. Let's just do a quick recap to get everything fresh in our minds.
So here they are, our main characters for today, the Spanish indirect object pronouns. Their one and only job is to answer the question to whom or for whom something is done. We've got me, te, le, nos, os, and les. You can think of them as these awesome little shortcuts that save you from saying people's names over and over again.
And here's what that actually looks like. You could say, doy el libro a Maria, which is perfectly fine, but it's a little wordy. Instead, we can make it so much sleeker. Le doy el libro. See how le just swoops in and takes the place of a Maria? It's faster, it's cleaner, and honestly, it's how people really speak.
Okay, now for the part that unlocks everything. Seriously, if you can get this next idea into your head, you're going to be right like 90% of the time. This is it, the golden rule.
And here it is, it's this simple. The pronoun almost always goes directly before the main conjugated verb. That's it, that's the secret. Pronoun, then the verb it belongs to. Let's see it in action. Check out this pattern. In le hablo a Juan, where's the pronoun le? Right before the verb hablo. How about nos explican la lección? Yep, nos comes right before explican. And te compro un café? You guessed it, te is right before compro. See that? It's the same reliable pattern, every single time. Now, this is the #1 trap for English speakers. We want to say hablo le a Juan, because in English we say I speak to him. The order feels natural to us. But in Spanish, you just got to flip it. The fix is always, always to slide that pronoun right before the verb. Le hablo a Juan.
So, now that we've totally nailed the main rule, let's get into the fun part, the situations where Spanish actually gives you some choices. This isn't about new, complicated rules. This is about adding some flexibility that helps you sound even more natural. This choice only pops up when you have two verbs working together as a team, like in a phrase like I am going to buy or she is reading. When you see that, you get two perfectly correct options. You can either stick to the golden rule and put the pronoun before the first verb, or you can glue it right onto the end of the second verb. Let's use voy a dar, I'm going to give, as our example. Option A is just our golden rule, le voy a dar. The pronoun le is chilling out before the conjugated verb voy. Easy. But option B is to attach it right to the end of dar, making it one word, voy a darle. And the best part? Both are 100% correct. They mean the exact same thing. It's totally your call. And guess what? The exact same logic works for those ing verbs, what we call the present progressive. For I am writing to them, you can say les estoy escribiendo. That's our golden rule again, or you can attach it to the end. Estoy escribiéndoles. Again, the meaning does not change one bit. It's just a style choice. Hey, just a quick pro tip on the spelling here. See that accent on escribiéndoles? When we attach a pronoun to the end of a longer verb like this, we often need to add an accent mark, just to make sure the stress of the word stays in the right place. It's not random. It's just there to help with pronunciation.
Okay, so we've got the placement rules down pat. But what happens when the pronoun itself could mean a few different things? Let's talk about how to be super clear, especially when you're using le and les.
And yeah, this is a totally fair question. You see the pronoun le in a sentence. Is it talking about to him, to her, or the formal to you? Without any other clues, how on earth are you supposed to know?
Well, Spanish has a really simple and honestly kind of brilliant solution. To make sure there's zero confusion, speakers will just use both the pronoun and a little clarifying phrase that starts with a.
This is exactly why you'll hear sentences like, le doy el libro a Maria all the time. Now I know what you're thinking. To our English-speaking ears, that sounds like saying,
I give her the book to Maria, which feels redundant, right? But in Spanish, this is completely normal. In fact, it's often preferred because it's so clear. Think of it less as repeating and more as specifying.
All right, let's lock all this in. We're going to do a little rapid-fire round to put these rules to the test and squash some of the most common mistakes out there. Ready? Okay, first one. Doy le el libro. We've got one conjugated verb here, doy. So what's the fix? You got it. The golden rule. We just move that pronoun to the front. Le doy el libro. Perfect. Next up, estoy le hablando. Uh-oh, we've got two verbs, and that pronoun is stuck right in the middle. That's a no-go. So what are our two correct options? Exactly. We can move it before the whole thing, le estoy hablando, or we can attach it to the very end, estoy hablándole. So when you really boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. If you know where the verb is, you know where the pronoun goes. It's either going to be right before that main conjugated verb, or it's going to be attached to the end of an infinitive or a progressive. That, right there, is your key to getting this right every single time.